Hello everyone. In this lecture, we can learn about the World Wide Web. So, World Wide Web is one of the application side of networking, where we can able to understand and learn many concepts with the usage of World Wide Web. So, this technology behind the networking is proposed by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989, and this has been started with the organization belong to Europe, and when they actually completed the nuclear research, and they have experimented with different locations, and at the end they have actually announced this to the world. So we can say that this is a distributed client server service, and here we can say that every client or one who use a network service will be using a browser and access the service using the server. So there have been always a relation between the client and the server, and the service provided is distributed over many locations called sites. So not only this, we can say that each site here will be holding one or more documents. So throughout this World Wide Web, that is, here we can find a number of web pages, and each web page can contain a link to other pages, just like a book which we utilize to read out. So what is a web page? So web page can be a symbol or composite. A simple web page has no link to other web pages, but a composite web page has more links to other web pages. And each web page is a file with a name and address. So here you can see the simple architecture for the web. There is a World Wide Web. One side we are having a client, and another side we need to go for the site through the browser. And once the request is made, we will be getting the response from the site. Then again the request will be forwarded, and we will be getting the response from the site. So wherever the file is located, in which server the file is located, and from there the client can able to get the content. So there is a architecture format we have with this World Wide Web. And here everywhere the transaction begins with sending a request, and we will be getting the response from the other side. And for the references, we will be using pointers, because we know that just like a book, some content will be available in the 5th page, some content we need to go for the 20th page, some content we need to look onto the 30th page, something like that. So when a copy of the main document is retrieved and browsed, then the user can able to click on the reference to get the particular content while doing this kind of transactions. So each browser has 3 parts. One is controller, client protocols, and interpreters. And here the controller receives input from the keyboard or the mouse and uses the client programs to access the document, because when we sit on a computer to enter a data through the keyboard, and that will be taken as a client program running on our side, and that will be linked to the server. And the web page, we know where it is actually located. It is stored in the server, and each time a request arrives, the corresponding document will be sent back to the client. And here fast access will be done based on the memory, that is we will be keeping up the cache memory level. And for any kind of file, any kind of web page, maybe a document or maybe a video file or whatever, we can able to identify that with the unique identifier, and for that we are using URL. So URL defines 4 things. One is a protocol, one is host computer, port, and path. So these all will be getting enabled. And a protocol, basically we know that set of things, set of rules we follow to do data communication. And it is a client server program that we need to access the web page. An example for this kind of protocol include hypertext transfer protocol and file transfer protocol. And a host, we know that is any host connected to the network will be having an identification. So the host identifier can be the IP address of the server or the unique name given to the server. And IP address is normally, as we know, maybe in the format of IPv4, separated with dotted decimals. And port number 16-bit integer. And if we are using a HTTP, then the port number we can use is 8080. So based on this port only we can able to get connected and we can able to start our communication. Then about path. So the path identifies the location and the name of the file in the underlying operating system. And in Unix, a path is a set of directory names followed by the file name and all separated by a slash. So now coming to the web documents. So one type of document we have is static document. So the static documents we cannot able to change, they are actually fixed. The client can get a copy of the document only, and the contents in the server can be changed, but the user cannot change them. And when a client accesses the document, a copy of the document is sent. The user can then use a browser to see the document. Example for the static documents are, there is a hypertext markup language, then extensible markup language, then extensible style language, then extensible hypertext markup language. So these were some kind of static documents. Now, what is dynamic documents? A dynamic document is created by a web server whenever a browser requests the document. So here, based on the kind of the application and based on the kind of the web page which we have, when a request arrives, the web server runs an application program or a script that creates the dynamic document. And based on the request that came from the client side, the server returns the result of the program to the particular browser. And here, certain changes we can do from the client side. So that's why it's called dynamic documents. Then, what is meant by active documents? So this is the third type of document we have in the World Wide Web. So as far as the applications are concerned, here we can say we need a program or a script to be run at the client side, and these are called active documents. And for example, if you want to run a program that creates animated graphics or any media file or any kind of other things which we need to do with graphical usage and which keep on running, so the client side also we need a program to get run. So such kind of documents we can say that is active documents. Therefore we can say the program definitely needs to be run at the client side. Client side means in our side, usage side. And based on the multimedia, based on the animation content, we go for that. And as an example for the active document, we can say that is usage of Java applets, because in many areas nowadays we are using JavaScripts, Java applets, and this is the kind of program which will be running here. So once get compiled, we can able to execute whatever we can, even to connect from our laptop to a web domain, or to reach out a particular website from our system using our IP address, and such kind of thing is called active document. So that's all in the class today.